Hi, this is Ed Rudiger again, and I am so glad you came to listen to another story from the Bible. I'll tell you, today is a drop-down, beautiful day. Is it a nice day where you are? I'll tell you, the sun is shining and the birds are singing. Man, it is a good day to be alive, and I am glad to spend a little bit of it with you. Now, we've talked about stories from the Bible, right, the last few weeks, and we looked at how God created everything, including people. We talked about how those people decided after a while to sort of go off on their own, to make decisions on their own. We talked last week about a guy named Cain who made a horrible, horrible decision when he killed his brother Abel because he was jealous. And that was the wrong thing to do, and he got punished a little bit for it, didn't he? He got punished. Even though God still loved him, he still had to pay the consequences of his action. Now, we talked about all those stories in the past. I got another story for you today. But before we talk about the story, I've got a question for you. Have you ever done something that you knew was the right thing to do, but some of your friends thought you were being stupid? Well, I have. You make a decision that this is what's right. Maybe your mom or dad told you to do it, or you made the decision yourself, and this is what you're going to do, but other people think you're wrong. Well, sometimes it doesn't work out real well, but sometimes you end up being the one that's right and the folks around are wrong. And the story I'm going to tell you today is a story where the hero, the guy who's sort of the focus, he makes a decision to do something because it's something God told him to do. And other people thought he was crazy, out of his head. But it turned out that he was the one that was right and they were wrong. And the story is about a guy named Noah. Now, have you ever heard the name Noah before? You might know this story because it's a story sometimes people tell. Well, anyway, we're using our imaginations, right? We're using our brains, our imagination. Okay? So we're going to pretend, at least for now, that this is Noah. Hi there, my name is Noah. Using our imaginations. Now, see, I don't think Noah wore a tie and a sports jacket, but that's okay. We're going to pretend right now that this guy is Noah. Now, understand, Noah lived a long time ago, and I'll tell you, in the world in which Noah lived, a lot of bad things were happening. People were going crazy. They were doing crazy stuff. A lot of stuff that was hurting other folks. But they were just running amok, running wild. But not Noah. Noah was doing the best he could to do what was right. And so Noah was, you could say Noah was a good man, was a serious man. And so Noah's there, everybody else running crazy, doing wild stuff. And one day Noah is just walking along, and God says, Noah. And Noah says, yeah. And God says, I've noticed that while everybody else is running crazy and acting like a bunch of fools, Noah, you're a pretty good guy. You try to do what is right. You're out there helping people. Everybody else is looking after themselves and hurting folks. But you are trying to help people, and I really like that. You see, you're doing what I'd like you to do, what I want you to do. And Noah, I got to tell you, just between you and me, I am sick and tired of people acting crazy. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe everything out, and I'm going to start fresh with you because you're a good guy. And Noah says, are you sure you want to do that, God? And God says, yeah, I think I'm going to do this. Okay? And Noah says, well, what do you want me to do? And God said, well, I'll tell you, I got nothing against the animals. It's the people going crazy. So what I want you to do is I want you to build me a great big boat. And Noah said, a big boat? And God said, yeah, that's what I want. I want you to build me this great boat. And we're going to call it don't want to call it a boat. We'll call it an ark. I want you to build me a big old ark, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it rain. And after it rains and rains and rains, and the water builds up and up, up and up and up, and everything's going to be covered with water. You know, sort of like it was when I started creating stuff. You remember? You know, everything was water. I'm going to do that again. I'm going to cover everything in water. But because I want to protect you and the animals that I loved and made for you, I want you to build this big boat and get a whole bunch of these animals on the boat. Okay? In fact, 2 of every kind. And I'm going to protect you. And that boat's going to float on the water. And you're going to be safe. Because once everything is clean, then I'll make the waters go down. And you can get out the boat and the animals and go about your business. But I'm not just going to save you. I'm going to save you and your family. And Noah said, "Are you sure you want to do that?" And God says, "Well, I think I'm going to do that." And so Noah said, "Well, I better get to work, because it takes a long time to build a boat." And so Noah starts working. And what do you think? What are some things he's going to need to build that boat? Going to need wood, because that's when they made boats out of wood. So he starts cutting down trees and getting a lot of wood. What else is he going to need? He's going to need some tools, right? So he gets himself some tools. He gets saws, and he gets, drills, and he gets hammers and all that kind of stuff. What else is he going to need? Right, he's going to need some nails and stuff. He's also going to need some help. So he gets his sons, because he's got a big family, and they're working with him on this boat, building this great big boat, and he's doing it in his backyard. And when people walk by and see Noah, because he's working really, really hard, and sweat's pouring from him, and his hands are dirty, and all kinds of stuff, and other people just acting crazy, they see Noah working on his boat, and they say, "Noah, you are one dumb guy. I mean, why don't you just join us? We're having a good time. We're just running around acting crazy. And, sometimes that's a fun thing to do. So why don't you just forget this boat? Because this boat business is just crazy. I mean, the sky is clear, and the sun is shining sort of like it is today. Don't be building a boat. You're wasting your time. You are one dumb guy." And Noah says, "Nope. God told me to build that boat." And he called it an ark, and I'm supposed to get all the animals on it, and he's going to protect me. Now, maybe if you help me, God would do the same thing for you. You think about that? And the people said, "Oh, well, I'm not going to do that. That's just dumb. That's going to cut into my time to run around acting crazy." So they just run off, and Noah and his family's working on this big boat. And after a long time, they get the boat built. Okay? Now, once they get this boat built, huge old thing, sitting in the backyard, sitting on blocks in the backyard. What now does Noah have to do once the big boat's built? That's right. He's got to get the animals, right? Because God said to put animals in the boat, because God wants to protect Noah here, and he also wants to protect some of his animals. Okay? So, Noah sort of whistles. He calls out. He says, "Animals, come on." And see, because God is kind of in control of everything, he's kind of leading the animals to it. So Noah calls the animals, and the animals start coming. And what kind of animals you think start coming for Noah? What else? What else? Yeah, those are all animals. Well, let me tell you. All of a sudden, these bears start coming. Right? Boom. And some pigs start coming, and they get on the boat. Boom. And penguins come waddling along, when they get in the boat. And some other bears, different kind of bears, kind of walking across the boat. And they get in, and little dogs, they get into the boat, and reindeer, Now, I don't know why. I don't know what they did with Santa Claus, but these reindeer are getting onto the boat. "Hi there, I'm a reindeer. My name is Dasher." Okay, they're in the boat, boom, and all of a sudden bunnies are running to the boat. Now, that's stupid. We all know bunnies don't run. Bunnies were doing what? What were bunnies doing to the boat? They were bloop, 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 bloop. And so all these animals got into the boat. Noah's looking at him, and he's counting, and he's making sure there's 2 of every kind. And so they all get on the boat, and Noah closes the door. And what do you think that boat sounded like with all those animals in it? It was really loud. And you had dogs barking, and you had cows mooing, and you had pigs oinking, and you had chickens clucking, and you had worms. Well, the worms weren't doing anything, but they were there. And so all these animals on the boat. And Noah closes the door, right? And so Noah's there looking at his boat with all the animals, listening to the animals. And the people still running crazy, it was wild, say to Noah, you are the dumbest man alive. Now not only have you built a big boat, you filled it full of animals. What you going to do with all those animals? And Noah said, look, I trusted God. I'm trusting God. God told me to do this. And if God tells you to do something, you probably need to do it. In fact, maybe if you decided to stop acting so crazy and got in the boat, God would help you too. And the people said, well, that's just dumb. I'm not going to do that. I like running around acting crazy. So they run off, and Noah says, okay. So he gets his family together. He says, come on, wife. And his wife comes over. And he says, come on, sons. His sons come over. Come on, daughters. And they all climb up this ladder and get onto the boat with the animals. And they have to clear some space because there's animals everywhere. And so they kind of clear some space, and they're sitting on the boat, and it's not raining. They are in this big boat on blocks, and it's not raining. And people are there on the ground, and they're pointing up at them, and they're laughing. Ha ha, Noah, you are some dumb guy. But Noah trusts God. And all of a sudden, as they're pointing up, one of them says, oops, what did I feel I felt something fall on my forehead. Hey, did you feel something on you too? Fall on you? What do you think it was? That's right. It was a drop of rain. And he said, well, I don't know. That's not important. Oh, there's another one. Oh, there's another one. And all of a sudden, it starts raining. And the guys down below, it's raining really hard. And Noah's up in his boat, because he also took some umbrellas. And so they're under umbrellas looking down, and the rain starts falling. And all the people that were running around acting crazy aren't acting crazy anymore. And the water gets deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And those people are down on the ground, and they end up drowning. And you know what drowning is? Drowning is bad. They end up drowning. But you know what? As the rain came down and the water rose, what do you think happened with the boat that has Noah and all the animals and his whole family? What do you think happens to the boat that was on blocks in his backyard? That boat starts floating. It starts floating. And when the whole world is covered with water, what is the boat doing? It's floating on the water. Now, you see, even though when Noah was building that great big boat, everybody thought he was making a big mistake, he trusted in God, and it turned out to be the right thing to do. And not only that, but even though God was ticked off by what he saw happening, God still loved Noah, and he still loved those animals, and he was going to protect them. And that's what he did in the boat. Remember what the boat was called? An ark. Okay, that's the story of Noah and the ark. Now, next time, I'm going to tell you another story about Noah. And I don't want to give you, a preview, because I want you to wait for it. But it's going to be another story about Noah, on the ark. And I think it's a good one. So, until I talk with you again, I want you to remember every single day. I want you to remember that God loves you.